Um, Madam Administrator, are you ready?
Next time.
Are we
Well,
ready to go?
What's your holiday plan?
one of
Woohoo.
Wear like a red suit. The way around.
sure it's-
You know the colors? No?
No.
Oh, you missed.
Man's got a nose limit. That's what
You
the commissioner said.
Believe it yesterday. It was something.
Oh, why? What was it?
Oh, it was like snowmen and skiing and
Oh, really?
some or
I
Santa
don't have,
skiing.
I'm not.
Madam Administrator, you all set? So I'm gonna tell everybody they should be sitting in their seats now so that we can. Thank you. As I think all of you are under the influence of Christmas cookies and you're very loud. So we're gonna call the public hearing to order. And this is a public hearing for state plan amendments and Medicaid waiver amendments for review. And it's with the committees of appropriations and human services. So I'll see if people have comments that they would like to make. Representative Walker. Representative Nuccio.
I'm all set, ma'am.
Thank you. Senator Berthel.
Good morning, Madam Chair. I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Lesser.
No comments, Madam Chair.
Representative Gilchrist.
No comments. Thank you.
Representative Case.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Senator Seminara.
No comments. Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna have, first up, we have Commissioner Barton Reeves from the Department of Social Services. Commissioner, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Senator. Good morning, Senator Austin and Lesser, Representatives Walker and Gilchrist, and honorable members of the Appropriations and Human Services Committees. I'm Andrea Barton Reeves, and I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Social Services. In accordance with the provisions of Section 17B8 of the Connecticut General Statutes, we are here today to seek your support for amending the Comprehensive Supports Medicaid Waiver, Individual and Family Support Medicaid Waiver, and the Employment and Day Supports Medicaid Waiver to compensate legal guardians of adults and parents of school-age children for certain personal care services under such waivers. These waivers are administered by both DSS and DDS. And I'm here today, and I'm pleased to be here with Commissioner Jordan Sheff, who is the Commissioner of the Department of Developmental Services, and other members of the DSS and DDS teams to assist in answering any questions that we may have. I will now turn it over to Commissioner Sheff to provide details on the waiver amendments before you today. Unless, Senator, you prefer that DSS go first?
No, I'm fine. The way you're doing
Okay.
is just
All
fine,
right.
Commissioner Sheff. It's nice to
you.
see you.
Good morning. It's nice to be with you. I'm a little distracted. And for Rep. Gilchrist in particular, but we learned just before testimony today that a friend Dennis Geary, formerly of Jewish Community Living, passed away last night. He's testified before you many, many times as an advocate in the private provider community and advocate for families. And he was very close with Andrea and I. And so if we're a little rattled or off our game today, I hope you'll indulge us.
You have our indulgence, sir.
The intent of these amendments is to comply with Section 60 of Public Act 23-137. This legislation requires Commissioner of Social Services in consultation with me to authorize, subject to the approval of CMS, compensation for parents of school-aged children and legal guardians of adults. Thank you. Providing personal care assistance services on the DDS Medicaid waivers. For the purposes of this legislation, family caregiver is defined as a caregiver related by blood, marriage, or a legal guardian of a participant in a DDS Medicaid waiver program. The DDS Medicaid waivers currently provide the flexibility to compensate family caregivers, except for when the family caregiver is the employer of record. We refer to that as an EOR, a parent of a school-aged child, or a legal guardian. These proposed waiver amendments will extend compensation to parents of school-aged children with and legal guardians for adults under certain criteria, but will maintain the policy that prohibits payment to the employers of record. Potentially to be utilized in all of our waivers, the in-home support waiver, respite, individualized day supports, personal supports, and senior supports. There is additional criteria in these waiver amendments to compensate parents of school-aged children and legal guardians of adults for certain personal care services, including the following. And I will not read the whole thing to you. It's been submitted as written testimony, but briefly, requiring an assessment to determine age-appropriate dependency, demonstrating a need for extraordinary care as required by CMS for compensation of parents of school-aged children. Limitations on hours of support that can be provided on an annual basis with the ability to request exceptions, ensuring that the provision of services is in the best interest of the waiver participant as required by CMS, and prohibiting employers of record from providing any other support outside of their role as employer of record. This includes being compensated for personal care services as a parent of a school-aged child or legal guardian of adults. DDS and DSS are offering these proposed amendments as cost neutral. The intent of these amendments is to offer a new mode of service delivery to individuals authorized to receive such services. These amendments do not offer additional funding or a mechanism to increase the ability to authorize new services. And I would like to add that in our pre-meeting with the chairs, I used a phrase I'd like to clarify, that it would save money. What I should have said instead is that it will allow us to use the appropriation more effectively to provide more services to more people and to provide access to services to people who cannot currently gain access through the private provider community. The department respectfully requests the Appropriations and Human Services Committee approve these waiver amendments as described. Staff from DSS and DDS are happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much for the opportunity to testify before you today.
Anything else, commissioners? All set?
We do have a presentation with
Okay.
respect to the spas, if you don't mind.
No,
Senator.
don't mind at all.
And it is just a few slides. We thank you for your indulgence. Susan, if you mind going to the next slide. Okay. It's all right. So here we go. Yeah, we'll just go to the background and the context. So I will spend just a moment on here. So the department must submit these spas by December 29th, and we have already submitted the Medicaid state plan amendment to the Appropriations and the Human Services Committee. We are submitting these spas to the committee because they otherwise would have required a Medicaid waiver amendment, but we do have some flexibilities under the Affordable Care Act. We have already published all of the appropriate public notices and tribal notifications, and 3 out of these 4 amendments are in fact in the state budget. And the fourth rate is related to the increase in the minimum wage that we know happened this year. So state budget allocations can be found in the OFA budget sheets, And the same rate increases for home delivered meals and for adult day services were implemented for our 1916, 1915C waivers, our HCBS waivers. But waiver amendments were not required for those increases because we already had those under changes that have been based on the state budget. So going to our first, so this is through our community first choice. I'm sorry, so the next slide, please. I apologize. I'm just moving through it. All right. So going to our first state plan amendment that we are seeking approval of. This is through our community first choice program. It is a Medicaid state plan option. It allows Medicaid participants to receive care in the community rather than an institutional setting. We are looking for two increases. One is 12.5% for home delivered meals. This is an increase that providers of these meals have been looking for quite some time. They have been delivering them at the current rates, and we've always been deeply appreciative of their willingness to do that. But as we all know, the cost of food and delivery and other fuels has gone up. So this 12.5% will allow them to keep up with the cost of that and deliver the meals to residents in their home and seniors as they are needed. The other is a percentage of increase for the personal care attendants to their daily and their overnight rates to ensure that their wages are in concert with the recent increases in the state minimum wage. The fiscal impact, as you can see at the bottom of this screen, is about $300,000 overall, with $130,000 in state share, and that is for the increase in the rate for the home delivered meals, and that is for both. And in 2024. That will be 460 with 200,000, and then the state share in 2025, as I have outlined there. The next is the home care program for elders, and we can see that outlined on this slide. And this increases the rate for this, what we call the Section 1915I portion of this plan. This will also increase the rate for home delivered meals by 12.5% and do the same thing, increase the amount of money in wages that are paid for those that provide services in adult day care centers by 8.6%. We anticipate that these rates will be effective to be effective on January 1, 2024. And at the bottom, you can see that we have our fiscal impact outlined here of the state share and the overall cost with respect to the state share in both FY 2024 and FY 2025. And now, again, I know it's uncharacteristic for DSS, but we are done with our with the slide portion of our presentation, and we are available to answer any questions that you have. And I do have our subject matter experts with us here today for any specific questions you may have about either or both waivers. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you both for that introduction. Commissioner Chef, do you have anything else for us?
No, not at this time, but thank you.
Okay, so I just want to reiterate that your slides indicate a state share, and my understanding from our respective briefings was the state share is already incorporated into the current budget that we have.
That is correct, Senator.
So people can forego asking questions on where the money's coming from because
That's-
it's already incorporated
that is
into the
correct.
budget.
That's correct.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions for either one of the commissioners on these spas? Senator Seminar, followed by Representative Case.
I represent the Northwest Corner, which I think you're aware of, and I just wanted to ensure that the Northwest Corner has definitely had historically issues with meal delivery, and I'm hoping and wondering if this is going to be able to increase that and make that more.
Yeah, well, I wasn't aware of that. So first of all, thank you for letting me know. So we will take that back and have an opportunity to explore it fully. So the idea is yes, that it would increase meal delivery, and at least the incentive for other providers to enter into the meal delivery space, because we're now trying to make it more economically feasible for them to do so. And if there's a specific issue with the Northwest Corner, which you're bringing to my attention today, we can go and dig into that more deeply. But yes, that's the idea, is to incentivize more providers to engage in the home meal delivery.
Okay, I will reach out to you separately to discuss that
Right.
further.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so very much.
Sure.
Representative Case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I guess to DDS first, and Commissioner Chef, I'm sorry for your loss. we're excited to see this come forward today. And as you know, this is part of 5001, a section of it. And as you stated earlier, because of our previous meeting, it's not necessarily a cost savings, but in section 60, this is to not only help those families that have those with special needs at home to be compensated, but correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to loosen up some of the workforce to go and help others that need services.
We believe that will be the case. It will enhance the number of people in the pool of available workers by including people who've been prohibited previously. So hopefully that helps. Providers will tell you that it won't fix the workforce crisis, but it maybe stem the tides they're facing.
Correct. And that's one of the reasons why we tried to work with this being cost neutral. So it wouldn't be a cost to state because everybody has those dollars already allocated to them. It's just making it so that we can spread it out so that it can be distributed differently. So I thank you for that. We're starting to move forward with some of the initiatives in 5001. And I think it's great for the IDD population. And it's a different commissioner, so I get two for each commissioner. It's only one question anyways to Commissioner DSS. So with the increase for the PCAs, that are also going for the personal care for all agencies, whether it's elderly, any type of personal care that they're getting? Is it just state-bound programs?
No, it is not just state-bound programs, but I want to, Amy, who would like it? I just want to make sure that I get the right subject matter explanation, but I will just say this, no, it is not just state-bound programs. So we're not just talking about that. We also, because part of the waiver that we're asking you to approve today is for folks who are going to adult daycare. So we have PCAs that work there as well. And all of those programs, for the most part, are privately owned. But we know what the crunch is now, right? And the constriction that we're experiencing with PCAs because of wages and because of availability and competition, that folks are making different decisions about where they can work. So part of this really, and along in a similar manner, as I said, in terms of incentivizing more people to come into the home meal delivery space, we're also hoping that we can incentivize more people to come into the adult care daycare space and for the spaces at home with higher wages. So we know that the minimum wage has already gone up. We are hoping that this will incentivize employers to provide maybe a bit more than the minimum wage to attract people to come into the field.
I thank you. I'm looking forward to voting for all this today because it's positive stuff for the most vulnerable people of our state.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Kennedy, followed by Representative Dathan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, commissioners, for being here this morning. Just a quick question, and it may sound silly, but you mentioned in your presentation, Commissioner Reeves, that part of the increase is due to minimum wage. Is that taken into consideration the January 1 increase? Is that the one you're referring to? Just
Yes, we're actually referring to the one that occurred and the one that is coming. So
okay, thank you very much.
The available appropriations of what's been budgeted.
Great. All right. Thank you so much. I look forward to voting for this. And Commissioner Chef, my heartfelt condolences on your loss. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Representative Dathan.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you to the commissioners for your presentation today. I know it sounds like it's been a difficult 24 hours, so my condolences are with you both, and thank you for coming today and doing a good presentation. Also wanted to thank you for your work on this. Representative Case and I have been working on the 5001, and this is a crucial element, as he spoke about a few minutes ago, in terms of really helping this population. My question really is regarding the other, maybe potential other states that have this waiver and any sort of comparability to what other states are doing in form of this waiver.
With regards to paying family caregivers?
Exactly. Sorry,
Yeah.
I should have clarified. Yes.
I don't have a list of states that we worked with, but we do belong to a National Trades Association, NASD's, for many directors. Krista Ostaszewski is here and did the waiver work. I'm sure she did some poking around and can give you a better idea of what states she's looked at and what guidance from CMS was provided. And if you would allow me, I can have her come up and speak to that.
Thank you so much. Krista's wonderful. So.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Krista Ostaszewski. I'm the Health Management Administrator for DDS. As Commissioner Sheff noted, we did do a little bit of research about other states and their approach with paying and compensating legal guardians and parents of school-age children. So I do have a little bit of a list about status of other states. It's not a completely comprehensive list, but it does provide a little bit of an update on where some of the states are at this point. So I'm going to actually just sort of run through them quickly, and then I can provide them to Administrator Keene if that's helpful afterwards, so everyone has it in writing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. So Vermont did allow compensation of legal guardians during COVID through some temporary flexibility. They have not extended that after COVID. The state has stated publicly that they have some concerns with conflict of interest and checks and balances. They're working with families and looking at options, but they have not submitted an amendment at this time. Rhode Island, Virginia, and Iowa all have pending amendments with CMS currently to allow legal guardians and parents of school-age children to be compensated. Those are all pending amendments. So CMS has 90 days to review amendments that are submitted. So those 3 states are still pending at this time. Maryland does allow legal guardians and parents of school-age children to be paid and compensated for personal care assistance. They do not allow EORs, however, to be compensated. So that is similar to the amendment that we've put forward today. Louisiana does allow legal guardians and parents of school-age children to be paid to be compensated. EORs are not able to be compensated, so similar to ours. Arizona does pay legal guardians and does compensate parents of school-age children. However, they do have a restriction in their amendments, and their restriction is that it can only be done under agency-directed supports and services. So essentially, the legal guardian or the parent of the school-age child has to be employed through a provider in order to be compensated. So a little bit of a different structure. We are not implementing a similar amendment. Arkansas does allow legal guardians and parents of school-age children to be compensated, but it is also under agency directed, or they have to be hired by a private provider. So similar to Arizona, that is not a restriction we've put forward today. New Jersey does also allow legal guardians to be paid, same as parents of school-age children. I was not able to verify if EORs are able to be compensated or not. We did reach out to them and I had not heard back. And Minnesota is in the same place. They do pay legal guardians and they do pay parents of school-age children. I was unable to find out if they compensate EORs. We reached out to them and we had not heard back. So that is the list I have at this time.
Great. That's very helpful. Thank you so much. As we heard from many parents that had this ability during COVID, it was really, really helpful and provided the care for their loved ones while also being able to be compensated. And it was a real help during that time. I really just also want to make sure that our Office of Workforce Strategy is still focusing on this as an issue because while this does help many in the IDD community, we also have seniors out there and other folks that do need the care that we're struggling with our workforce. Krista, I don't know if you know anything about that, but that would be helpful.
If the Office of Workforce Strategy is not here today, we could send that question to them.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam
Senator,
Chair.
very briefly.
As it relates to this spa?
No, I'll be quiet.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, Representative Dathan, relating to this spa?
No, I was just trying to make sure that we're we're focusing on it. So I will connect with the Office of Workforce Strategy to make sure it's moving ahead.
Now housed in the Department of Economic and Community Development. Representative Osborne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a two-part question, but it's only one question. And it is, does this extend to foster parents of school-age children? And if so, and even if not, what types of checks and balances are being put in place to ensure that the care that is being provided under the family provisions, make sure there's quality care? Thank you.
I will need to get back to you on the answer to that after consulting with DCF.
So this was a two-part question, though. That's with respect to the foster parent provisions. But are there any checks and balances in place to make sure that children who are receiving care from a family member are receiving the same type of quality care?
They would be
training provided?
there's quality oversight and monitoring, both for the fiduciary responsibilities, the pay, quality of care. There's still a case manager involved for these individuals and other quality measures, some of which are not in practice yet because we don't have a system like this yet, but we have quality service review staff available to do those types of checks.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And the only two agencies we are seeing today are DSS and DDS. That's what these two spas are relevant to. Are there any other questions for the agencies? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Up next is Joyce Busino. Is Joyce here? Is Joyce online? No. Okay. The Mr. and Mrs. or Harry and Hannah Wolfgang? Are they online?
We are.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am. The floor is yours. Both of you can talk.
This is my first time doing this, so
Well,
I'm
not exactly at the same time, but go
I'm
ahead.
not exactly sure what kinds of things we can share or ask. So I'm the mother of a severely disabled child who is affected by autism, and she is 8. She's nonverbal. She can't read or write. We are her 24/7 caregivers. I have been very resourceful in trying to find support or help or resources in trying to get help because parents can't be available 24/7. I guess my question is there a way for families like us to access some kind of resources that aren't coming out of our pocket? Because it's not just like challenging us financially, it's simply unsustainable. And what I've found is the only option is to give up guardianship for my daughter to go into some other facility to get the 24/7 care that she would require. But there are a lot of problems with that. One being she's particularly vulnerable to she is only 8, but she's sexually aggressive. She's physically aggressive. So if she were to be being, abused in that way, she probably wouldn't stop it. She's age equivalent of 2. She's not aware of her rights. And for various other reasons, her safety, other people's safety, and just that I believe we can give her the best quality care, but we can't continue to afford to do it. Is there anything that folks who have an income and own a house might be able to access?
And your daughter is autistic?
Yeah, she is autistic, level 3 or 4, depending on who you ask. And she has established intellectual disability. And she has a number of other diagnoses as well, but that's the primary one. Yeah, she has fine and gross motor delays. She has history and risk of falling and injury, and a whole slew of other things. But the autism is and intellectual disability are the main ones.
So I think that we could probably get you a comprehensive list of other possible resources. It does get more complicated when it's a private pay situation. So what, if you don't mind my asking, which town do you live in?
Fairfield, Connecticut.
So I think we have a couple of Fairfield, Connecticut representatives here. They may be able to work with you.
I feel like I've reached out and I've had the comprehensive list. I mean, the major ones that we've reached out to and worked through to exhaustion are DDS, DSS. I called DCF myself to see if they could help. They exhausted their support, research and closed out the file, moved us to CFS, which is Community Family Services. They have exhausted their ability to find any resources. I have been told that there should supposedly be some kind of a way. Oh, and the Katie Beckett waiver, she doesn't, I could be wrong about this. She doesn't qualify for because she has intellectual disability and autism. So she is on DDS, and the Katie Beckett or autism waiver for Connecticut is managed through DSS. She is not eligible for DSS because she is more highly affected than DSS. And in order to qualify for the Katie Beckett waiver, she would need to be on DSS. So we don't qualify.
So if you, please don't give it right now because you're online and it's, everybody will have your phone number. But if you could email us with your contact information, and we will share that with the state representatives and state senators that represent you. Should that be that you don't get your needed care through that mechanism, the appropriations chairs will start looking into your issues. Yes.
Thanks. What email should I use for that?
So, Ms. Wolfgang, this is Susan Keene. I'm the administrator of the Appropriations Committee, and thanks to your registration for this webinar, I do have your email address. So after the hearing, I will reach out to you so you have my email address, and then you can share your contact information with me, and we'll get it out to the appropriate folks.
Okay, so when you guys are talking today about the I guess there's a law either in place or they're looking to put the wording together for it that would compensate family members as caregivers for disabled kids. I'm sorry,
Yes,
what?
that's the one that we're working on right now. And should that get approved today, and I don't see why it will not, it will provide some resources for caretakers. Certainly not a lot, never enough, but we will be able to get you the exact details on that. That will help out with your specific situation.
Is that something though that is like you have to financially qualify for it? So if you do actually have an income and a house, it pretty much automatically disqualifies you. That's what we've been running.
It's for people that are on Medicaid right now. That's what we're working on. And generally speaking, that's for people that don't have income. But I think that there may be things that we may be able to help you out with. So why don't we see, we'll sort of take this conversation offline and try to get you some assistance, because we all know how hard it is to be in your respective situation. So we'll start sending you some information, and we'll work with our colleagues on the executive branch side to see what we can do for you.
Okay, and then I don't know if my husband Harry had
he is. Mr. Wolfgang, do you have any comments?
No, I didn't have anything extra to add. We just both signed up because we weren't sure we were both going to be able to make it to the video this time.
All right. Well, we appreciate everything that you're doing, and we know you're both probably exhausted. So we'll see what we can do for you. Okay.
Yep. Thanks.
All set.
Thank you. Yep. Thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you. Up next is Ewelina Schmore. Is she online? She's not online. Is Joyce Busino here now? No. And not online either? Okay. All right. So I think that brings us to the end of our public hearing. There are no more comments or questions. Seeing none. We'll close the public hearing and move over to and we're going to start moving over to the committee agenda, and we all those of us that are going to be doing this. Madam Administrator, let us know when you're ready. Okay, Senator Lester.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to call to order a meeting of the Human Services Committee, and I would ask for a motion and a second to approve the following. SPA 23-0023, SPA 24-0001, the DDS Comprehensive Supports Medicaid Waiver, the DDS Individual and Family Supports Medicaid Waiver, and the DDS Employment and Day Supports Medicaid Waiver. Is there a motion? Motion by Representative Case, second by Senator Seminara. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will please take the roll. Hello, Madam Clerk.
Hello. Representative Gilchrist?
Yes.
Senator Lesser?
Yes.
Senator Seminara?
Yes.
Representative Case?
Yes.
Senator Gaston? Representative Dathan?
Senator Dathan votes yes.
Senator Marr?
Senator Marr votes yes.
Representative Butler? Representative Cook? Representative Comey?
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Exum? Representative Fortier?
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Representative Hughes?
Representative Hughes votes yes.
Representative Johnson? Representative Kitt?
Representative Kitt votes yes.
Representative Leeper? Representative Santiago?
Santiago votes yes.
Representative Buckby?
Yes.
Representative Ferraro? Representative Mastro Francesco? Representative Pizzuto?
Representative Pizzuto votes yes.
Can you please turn your camera on?
Sure.
One more time.
Yep. Representative Pizzuto votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Paletta? Are there any members of the Human Services Committee that has not casted their vote that would like to do so now?
Madam Clerk, when you are ready, will you please announce the tally?
Total number voting are 14. The yeas are 14, nays 0, abstaining 0, absent and not voting 8. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And with that, I'd like to recess the Human Services Committee.
We're going to go on to the next part of this. I will convene the Appropriations Committee meeting and ask for a motion and a second to approve the SPA 23-0023 Community First Choice rate increases for home delivered meals, personal care attendants per diem, and personal care attendant overnight services. The SPA 24-001, Section 1915I, portion of the Connecticut Home Care Program for elders, rate increases for home delivered meals and adult day services, the DDS Comprehensive Supports Medicaid Waiver, the DDS Individual and Family Support Medicaid Waiver, and the DDS Employment and Day Supports Waiver. Is there a motion?
So moved, Representative Dathan.
Second.
A few seconds.
A motion was made by Senator Lesser and seconded by Representative Walker. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion. Madam Administrator, could you call the roll, please?
Senator Austin,
Senator Austin votes in the affirmative.
Representative Walker,
Representative Walker votes in the affirmative.
Senator Hartley, Representative Exum, Representative Paris, Senator Berthel,
Good morning, Madam Administrator. Senator Berthel votes in the affirmative. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Representative Nuccio,
Good morning. Representative Nuccio votes yes.
thank you. Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes. Thank you.
you, Representative Baker,
Baker votes yes.
Representative Belinsky,
Representative Belinsky is an enthusiastic yay.
Representative Callahan.
Representative Callahan votes yes.
Oh, good. Just unmute and let me talk on when they call my name.
Candelaria.
Yeah, how do I unmute?
You are unmuted. I'd like you to mute, actually, sir. Representative Candelaria. Representative Chaleski.
Representative Chaleski votes yes.
Representative Curry.
Representative Curry votes yes.
Representative Dathan.
Representative Dathan votes yes.
Representative DiCaprio.
Good morning. Representative DiCaprio votes yes.
Good morning. Thank you, sir. Representative Delaney.
Good morning. Representative Delaney votes yes.
Representative Delnicki. Yes. Representative Dillon.
Good morning. Representative Dillon votes yes.
Good morning. Thank you. Representative Felipe.
Representative Felipe votes yes.
Senator Flexer.
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Gotcha. Representative Fonsello.
Representative Fonsello votes yes.
Representative Garibay.
Representative Garibay votes yes.
Representative Gibson. Representative Gilchrist.
Gilchrist votes yes.
Senator Gordon.
Senator Gordon votes yes.
Representative Gonzalez. Representative Haddad, now you're on, sir.
Thank you. That was May's fault. Representative Haddad votes yes.
It was.
Thank you. Representative Hall. Representative Harrison.
Representative Harrison votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Hoxa.
Representative Hoxa votes yes.
Representative Johnson. Representative Khanna.
Representative Khanna votes yes.
Representative Kennedy.
Kennedy votes yes.
Senator Kushner.
Senator Kushner votes yes.
One more time for me.
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Lesser.
Senator Lesser votes yes.
Senator Marks.
Marks votes yes.
Representative McCarty.
Representative McCarty votes yes.
Senator McCrory. Representative Nolan.
Nolan in the affirmative.
Representative Porter.
Representative Porter votes in the affirmative.
Representative Osborne.
Representative Osborne votes yes.
Representative Reyes.
Representative Reyes in the affirmative.
Every member.
Representative Rosario.
Representative Rosario in the affirmative.
Representative Rutigliano. Representative Ryan.
Yes.
Representative Sanchez.
Representative Sanchez votes yes.
Senator Slapp. Representative Sims. Senator Summers.
Summers votes yes.
Ooh, You froze.
Senator Summers votes yes.
One more time so we get,
Senator Summers. Senator Summers votes yes.
yay, thank you. Representative Terziak. Senator Winfield. Representative Zawistowski. All right. Representative Candelaria.
Candelaria in the affirmative.
Thank you, sir. Are there any members of the Appropriations Committee who have not yet cast their votes who would like to do so now?
Madam Administrator, when you're ready, if you could announce the tally, please.
Total number voting 40, those voting yea 40, those voting nay 0, those abstaining 0, those absent not voting 13.
The motion passes. And Appropriations will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Representative Porter, is there a second?
Second.
Second by, say that again?
Second.
Senator Berthel.
Thank you.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries. Appropriations Committee is adjourned. Senator Lesser.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to reconvene the Human Services meeting. And I actually, Madam Chair, after I asked you to announce the tally, I don't know if I announced that the motion. Okay, the motion carries as well. So sorry for that. And now I'd like to ask for a motion and second to adjourn the meeting. Is there a motion? Motion by Representative Case, second by Representative Cook. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the meeting is adjourned.
And before all of the DSS and DDS people leave, relative to the Wolfgang, the family situation, we are going to be reaching out to you. If you could also reach out to your sister agencies to see if there's anything that we can do for the family, that would be really helpful. And I think that you want to talk to this representative right there. She does represent them. And so that would be helpful if we could keep that and just keep us all in the loop, just so that we can make sure that we do what we can. We don't know what we can do at this point, but if we can do what we can, that would be very helpful. Thank you. Madam Administrator, do we have any further business coming before the committee?
We do not, Madam Chair.
Okay, I hope you all have nice holidays. Have a wonderful time.
Thank you.